Hey guys, it's Maymay, and check out this ornament we're going to be making. Can you see it? Oh, it is so cute. I'm bringing it really close so you can really look at it. This is some graphic 45 paper behind an acrylic ornament, and it is all decorated up. See, the back has got little Santas on it, and I cannot wait to show you how to do this. So check it out. Okay, so some of you might remember that I got this pack of graphic 45 paper from as a present in my Christmas card call that we did, and I fell in love with it. I want to show you what I actually did with that piece of paper. You can see with the other ornament, I found a part that I liked, and I centered it in the ornament, and I glued it down. So here's what I'm going to do for this one. I'm going to do a different one this time, and I love this word Noel here, and look how well this fits. Doesn't that look good? And I'm going to show you exactly what I did, okay? Okay. So the first thing I did, this is exactly what I did, and you may not like it. This may get you. I have a wet wipe, and I'm going to use my finger. This is some hard coat Mod Podge. I don't necessarily think you have to use the hard coat, but I don't think the matte will work. I did not try the matte, but I think this is going to work real well because it is a really shiny clear. And what I'm doing is rubbing this in a good thick coat right where I want to put it. The reason I'm doing it pretty thick is it's going to help with the air bubbles if I have something to kind of push around, some of the liquid to push around. So you just want to smear that on good, and then I even took it and put it on the back of the ornament. Not thin. I was not stingy. I was pretty thick with this, and I only put it up to this little ornament hanger part. I didn't do the loop. I left the loop without anything. It doesn't matter. You can do it if you want to, but you don't have to. Then just wipe my finger off. Can you believe I did that? I did. I got my finger dirty. Okay, and then I put this on top of the piece that I want to be on my ornament, and I pressed really hard. And you'll see some bubbles in there. There were bubbles in my other one too, but when it dried, you could not see them anymore. So I'm going to press so hard, and that's pushing a lot of those bubbles out too. So I'm just pressing, and it's sliding around, and that's okay. It kind of creates like a suction. And that is good. Now, here is the other trick. Leave that like that. Now, grab some books, okay, or something heavy. Make sure you got it centered where you want it, because once you do this, it's there. That looks good. And then weight it down. Now, I left this overnight, and that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to leave this overnight, and then I'm going to come back and show you what this looks like in the morning, and we will go from there. So, after a good night's sleep and leaving the books here, we are back in the morning, and let's see what we've got. Here's what we've got. It is nice and dry. You see that? Now, I want to show you something. I think this is important. That hard coat, can you see that it's a little yellow? It's okay because it's kind of vintage looking, but I don't know if it's because I used the hard coat one or if it's because the paper reacted. I'm not sure. So if you guys know why it would have turned a little yellow on me, let me know. My first one did not do that. Of course, it was on a kind of yellow paper, so I might not have noticed it, but I'm not worried about it. I'm rolling with it. So now what we're going to do is cut this out. And because I might want to save this paper a little bit, and let me show y'all something else I just discovered. My Tim Holtz scissors, they're magnetic. I did not know that. I wish I had known it before. Do you see that? They are magnetic. I learned that yesterday. Okay, so I'm going to cut up this side so I can save the rest of this paper, because there's a couple other circles I can use for other ornaments. Okay, put this aside. Now you can see on the back it looks like it picked up, oh, it's a little shiny. Looks like it picked up some stuff from my work surface. So you might want to keep that in mind. Normally I would have done this with a two-sided paper, so it wouldn't be a big deal. But I'm going to do something on the back that I think will be just as cute. So now I'm going to trim this guy out. And I'm going to start with these larger scissors, and I might have to change to kind of fussy cutting, but I think this will work. The edges do not have to be perfect because we're going to decorate them anyway, so it'll be fine. I don't do perfect, right? When I get all this cut away, that yellow color is not even going to matter. I wonder how this would do with glossy accents as the adhesive. It might work really well. or maybe any other art adhesive you might have. Now back here I am going to use my smaller scissors, and what I'm going to do, because I didn't put glue on that circle, is I'm going to bend this down, lay my scissors in and trim that away, and just work at it a little bit. Again, you're not going to see this because we're going to embellish it like crazy. The part you're going to see is this. That's the part you'll see. If you have a nail file or something like this, this is an old fingernail file thing I had, and I have been using it for crafting for quite a while. I'm going to take the nail file portion, and I'm going to go around the edges and file the paper smooth. You don't have to do this part. I just think it makes it easier to work with, because it's hard to cut that paper perfect. And because I'm going to be embellishing the edge, I don't want to have any extra pieces hanging off to keep my embellishments from laying flat. Now I'm going to embellish this guy. So the first thing I'm going to do is I have this embellishment, which is actually some twine from our local dollar store. It comes in a big old roll, and I just kind of take it off in pieces. And I'm going to wrap this around the side. I want to tell you this. I'm going to do exactly what I did on this one, but in different colors, so you can see how I achieved this look. So we'll get two different looks doing the same thing. Okay, so the first thing I did was I addressed the edges, and here's how I did it. Now, Jamie just put this hot glue up today on her website. I just got a notice from it, but I'm going to tell you something. I don't know what it is about this hot glue that's different, but it's just different. It lasts forever. It does not drip out of my gun like most of them drip. This one does not. I'm going to put a little bead there. Place this twine down into it. I like the twine edge. This is going to be very different than the first one. Stick my finger in the hot glue. Which is normal, right? It's not hot because it's a low melt, don't worry. Okay, so I got it started. Now I'm just going to tack it periodically around. So, dot of hot glue here. Dot over here. Does not take much. This one's going to look very different. But I think it's still going to look cool. So just wrap this all the way around. Just like so. And I'm going to go ahead and trim it before I stick it down. Okay, so now I have that one done, but I don't love all these little flyaways, so I'm going to trim those away. Just kind of give it a little haircut. I love the twine, because that's the look I'm going for with this one. But not the flyaways. Now remember how I told you I was going to do something to the back of the ornament since this paper is not two-sided? I'm going to do that now, and you may need to do it a step before depending on what you put around the edges. I'm going to use some stamps right here. I just want to put like a pattern on the back. Let me show you. You guys have seen this one before. I love it, and I love to use it for patterns. And the first thing I'm going to do is ink up the edges a little bit. Just a little. I think that'll help the pattern look a little more seamless. Now you could come back here and put like to and from, like maybe you were sending this to somebody as a gift. You can decorate this like a tag and hang it on a gift. Now the thing I'm going to do is use that same distress ink. And I don't care if this is distressed looking. I'm doing a very, you know, twiny, burlappy looking stamp here. So I'm going to turn this way and stamp. Look, it looks good. I love it like that. The reason I didn't worry about this top part is because I'm going to cover that anyway, so it's no big deal. That looks really cool. Can you see that? Looks like leather. I like it. Okay, so we have the front going, the back going, and now let's work on this top part. Now because I'm using the same twiney look, I'm going to go back to this same stuff I'm using. And what I did on my other one was I put a little glue on the back. Of course, I did not use this material. I used a ribbon on that one. Then I'm going to get this guy started in that. Just hold it there for a second. Now that that's held down, I'm going to wrap this around the top. Pretty snug. I'm going to come back here and put some glue. Run this through it. Bring it around. Run it through it again. That might be where I stop, not sure yet. I'm going to let that dry for a second. I think I'm going to squirt some glue under that. Just kind of hold that in place for a second too. Okay, everything's held down and I like that. I'm going to trim it off back here. That one trimmed really clean. And now I'm going to give it a little haircut again because I got new sprigs. Okay, so we have the top wrapped and we have the sides wrapped. Now I'm going to take a different product. This is a little, I don't remember. Let me see if it's got a name. It's called Natural Cotton Braiding Cord, and I picked this up from Joann's a long time ago. So I'm just going to use this top color. It's actually, I think, focused for kids crafts. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to the back side, and I'm going to put a little bit of glue here, just like that, and I'm going to start this in that glue. Now what we're going to do is we're going to thread it. So I'm going to pull this up through this hole, wrap it around. I just think this beefs up the little hook part. Does that make sense? You could use the same twine, but I think it might be a little thick, so I'm just going to use this thinner cord. And this goes really quick. It does not take long. I'm going to show you what I do to keep it tight. I pull it through and then I put my finger there to hold it while I bring it back through. Just slide that into place and hold it again and just wrap it around. Now I want to show you, because we're wrapping this on a curve, you may get to a point where you have some loose little holes. Never fear, just cover it up when you go back around the next time. Just let your thread lay in that slot. See? And it'll fill that up. Okay, so I've got it all wrapped up. I'm going to adjust it just a little bit, and then I'm going to come to the back and put a little glue back here and hold it in place. I'm going to hold that while it cools off, and then we get to do the fun part. So here we are. Big difference from where we started, right? We already have a cute little twiney wrapped ornament. So cute. Now what I want to do to kind of look, and let's look at the back too. I want to show you. Isn't it cute? It looks finished on both sides. So cute. Okay. Now I want to add the bells. Do you see how I have little jingle bells here? Let me shake it. They're little jingle bells hanging. I want to do that now. So let me get something to do that with. So I have a little bit of brown embroidery floss, and the reason I'm using this is because my bells have such a tiny little hole for me to thread through. So this I can separate and get just one or two threads out of. So I've separated out a piece of the string, which you can probably barely see. I'm going to thread that through. And tie it on. And then just cut that away. I'm going to do the same thing to the other ones. These little bells are the way I learned that my Tim Holtz shears are magnetic. Look, let me know if yours are. Maybe mine got close to a magnet. I don't know. Maybe I had it in my magnet storage and it's magnetized them, but these certainly are. Now I'm going to hang these, and I'll show you. I'll turn them sideways, but I'm going to hang these at 3 separate heights. So I'm just kind of adjusting the string. So see, they'll hang something like that. See how those hang at 3 separate little heights there? Okay. And what I'm going to do to make this super easy is just put some hot glue down right on the kind of a fourth of the way in, like 1/4 of an inch in. Then making sure all 3 strings go into that hot glue. Just going to press those down. We're going to put embellishments on top that'll hide that. So we'll let that sit there for 1 second while it dries. And see how they're not hanging at the same height? That's really cute. Pull this forward and trim it off. So I want to use this same twine. It might be a little bulky, but I think it's going to work. So you want to just take the twine, leave an edge, so that can be like the tail of your bow. Separate your fingers the width you want your bow to be, and then just wrap several times around, like that. Okay? Now I'm going to trim some of this away. Alright, so I've got it all wrapped up and off of my fingers, and now what I'm going to do is take another piece and wrap around it and tie it. Yes, this looks fiddly. If I wasn't using this ribbon, I don't think it would be so bad, but this is kind of stiff. But once you get this first knot tied in it, you'll have control. So just tie that like that. And, see this mess? Remember, these are your tails. You can tell by looking at it. Tie this one more time. Make sure you have a knot. That's what's going to hold that bow in place. Pull it tight. Okay? Now I'm going to trim off these pieces. I'm trying to do that off a little bit because it flies. Then I'm going to come down here and pull my tails down. And if you wanted multiple tails, you could certainly do that too. Trim these down. Not going to trim them too much just yet because I don't know how far I want them to hang. And then this guy is going to go right there. Cute, huh? So I'm going to pile some glue, a pretty good bit, because I want it to really get into these fibers and lock it in place. Press this down and hold it. I really like that. I'm going to trim these to about here, a little shorter than I had them. And then I'm going to give it a little haircut. Again, you don't have to do this. I just think this is a little bit rugged for me. My hope was to be able to use one of these stars. But I'm thinking this may be too big now that I look at it. Let me see. Oh, I don't think so. I like it. I love these little stars. They came from Hobby Lobby at after Christmas last year. And I bought them to do some cone Christmas trees with because I saw another person on YouTube do that. And I've used them for everything but, it seems like. They're rusty. They're really cute. I'm going to put a good bit of hot glue in the back of this star. See that big dollop? And that way, wherever it lands, it'll catch. Let that sit. I'm liking it, but we're not done. We got one more thing to do to make it look like our other one. Okay. So I have some glitter glue. You could use stickles or whatever, but this is from Close to My Heart, and it is Glitz Stardust Glitter Gel. And I'm going to get it started, and here is where the magic happens. I'm going to come right beside that trim that I put on at the edge, and I'm putting a layer of the glitter glue down, and then I'm taking the tip and smearing it to kind of look like it was snowy. So there's a layer. Take the tip and drag through it a little. Okay. I think this is really what dresses this up. If you don't mind loose glitter, can you imagine using that chunky, glitzy glitter right around the edge of this? It would be so pretty if you don't mind, you know, loose glitter. I'm not a fan. Now on the other one, I even did this. I went into different areas, put some glitter down, and just kind of dressed up the embellishments. This is a good way to take a plain something and just dress it up. The sparkle will be so pretty in pictures. I can't wait to show you. And I'm just kind of rubbing that in to that string. So there is that one. Next to this one, which was done virtually the same. I used paper underneath, did the Mod Podge, I did the bows. Everything's the same with different embellishments, and you get two totally different looks. Let me zoom in. So you can see how totally different those are. This one may not be focusing well. I can't tell from my viewfinder, but these are done the same. Bells, bows, and a little embellishment. I wrapped both pieces at the top, did a trim. This one, let me show you the trim on the edge. This is kind of a glittery ribbon around the edge. So Jamie carries these in her store, and they come with this little protective backing that you just peel away. This one's easy to get off. See that little plastic that comes off? So now this one has no protective coating. And I'm going to look these up and tell you how much they are real quick. Hang on. So as of today, August the 27th, 2014, on her website, you get 5 of these ornaments that I told you they're like 2 3/4 wide for $4.39. So let's do the math. So that makes this 88 cents, okay, when you break it down. And look what I did with that. Just using stuff in my own stash. You know I don't buy anything. I have a stash full of stuff, right, from clearance racks. So can you imagine what a great gift this is? I love it. Imagine if you hung one of these on a gift and the person gets an ornament and a gift in one. Or if you adhered this to the front of a card and let this be the card focal point, because they're not extremely thick. Do you see that? You could adhere this down. The thickest part is at your embellishment. That would be so cute on a card that you give to somebody. So there you go, guys. This is an ornament. Started out plain. Let's see if we can do this without changing the camera too much. Okay, so we started out plain, and we turned into this. I think it's amazing. Now, all of the stuff that I used today that Jamie carries, the acrylic pieces and the hot glue, I'm going to put a link to her shop below. So click on that link, and it'll open up her shop, and you'll find these in her acrylics, the acrylic pieces, and they'll be under shaped acrylic. That's where these are. So I hope you enjoyed this so much, and I will talk to you on Friday for Hallowcraft number 4. We're getting there, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.